This video is brought to you by SoccerPro.com, bringing you everyday low prices with no membership fees. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout to receive $10 off any order of $100 or more.
Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Lunar Gato 2 indoors in both the black and total crimson colorway as well as the black and hyper turquoise colorway. So inside the box, as you guys can see, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. So let me get this one out of the box here, get this box out of the way, and we'll take a closer look at the Lunar Gato 2 in black and total crimson, as well as in black and hyper turquoise. So these are two of the more recent colorways of the Lunar Gato 2. This is of course an indoor model from Nike, offering more of a traditional leather feel, but at the same time with a lot of modern twists, which we're going to talk about in today's video. This is honestly one of my personal favorite indoor models at this point in time, and in the video, like I mentioned, we're going to kind of just do a general overview on everything you could possibly want to know regarding the colorways, the performance, the tech specs, the fit, the sizing, everything you could possibly want to know about the Lunar Gato 2, like I said, is going to be discussed in today's video. So if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, you want to learn a little bit more, please stick around. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at both of these two colorways. Now obviously they are similar to a certain extent in that they both feature black leather uppers, something that I know a lot of people have had issues with the Lunar Gato 2, including myself, is that some of the dye on the leather itself or the color tends to wear off over a certain amount of time once you start using the shoes. Now, I think a lot of the reasoning behind that is one, just some kind of an issue on Nike's end as far as dyeing the leather is concerned. This is the only model that they have that is made from goat leather, whereas everything else is either full grain calfskin or kangaroo leather. So that may be something to consider. But most of the colorways of the Lunar Gato 2 up until this point have been lighter colors. So whites, yellows, light blues, stuff like that. And all the issues that I've had as far as dye wearing off has been on lighter colorways. So I'm not sure if it's going to be as much of an issue or an issue at all with the darker colors, this one being a black base as you guys can see. But again, it is something to keep in mind if you are planning on buying a pair of these. So if the leather color starts to wear off a little bit, it's completely normal. There's really nothing you can do about it. It's not going to affect the performance. It's just something that seems to happen with the Lunar Gato 2. So black base on both of the shoes. We'll start off with this one right here. It's pretty much all black with the exception of a little bit of total crimson in the form of the orange laces as well as the orange insole. So black leather upper, black sandpaper texturing on top, and all black stitching as you guys can see. Black mesh tongue, black heel liner, black Nike swoosh. The hyperfuse area is black, but it has this kind of multicolor speckle fused into it, which I actually think looks pretty cool. I'm going to try and get close up here so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Really interesting look, and part of the reason why I'm such a big fan of the Lunar Gato 2 is not only in terms of how it feels, and not only because of how it feels and performs, but also because I think it's just a good looking shoe. It's one that you can wear for street soccer, you can wear casually, and no one's going to think that you're wearing indoor soccer shoes or something like that, just because it has that really clean styling about it, at least in my opinion. Leave your opinions down below in the comments. And then of course the midsole and outsole, as you guys can see, pretty much solid white in color. The alternate colorway variation that I have right here, again, features that black goatskin leather upper. You're going to find that some of the stitching is black, and the other part of the stitching is that hyper turquoise color, so kind of like a teal. You have your black sandpaper finish right here at the toe. You do have your hyperfuse, which is a base of hyper turquoise, so again, that teal color, but again with the multicolor kind of speckling, I guess, fused into the actual material, which just looks really, really unique in particular on this particular colorway. You do have the black Nike swoosh right there on the heel. The laces, the insole, the tongue, as well as the heel liner are hyper turquoise in color. And then again, the midsole and outsole, pretty much solid white with a hyper turquoise Nike swoosh right there at the bottom. So both really simple colorways. My favorite would probably be this one right here. And if I were to wear them, I probably would swap out the orange laces for a pair of black laces and have more of a blackout vibe going. Even white laces I think would look pretty good. But nonetheless, if you're looking for a darker color scheme of the Lunar Gato 2, these are one of very few that have been released by Nike, and both of them in my opinion look pretty good. But leave your opinions down below in the comments. That's enough about the colorways though, and next we'll move on to the tech specs and overall performance of the Lunar Gato 2. Like I mentioned earlier, the Lunar Gato 2 is one of my personal favorite indoor shoes. One, because I generally tend to prefer leather uppers over synthetic. There's no real reason for that. It's just what I like the feel of. And two, I actually really like the Lunar Lawn cushioning system that they've incorporated on this particular shoe. A lot of modern day indoor models are extremely low profile. They just keep you very close to the ground. They have very minimal underfoot padding. There's nothing wrong with that, but for me personally, I just like to have a little bit more under my feet as far as cushioning is concerned, just because, again, I'm a little bit more comfortable with that while I'm playing. So if you're looking for that soft, natural leather upper feel and a little bit of underfoot protection, at least as far as cushioning is concerned, then the Lunar Gato 2 is definitely one of the top options as far as indoor soccer shoes are concerned. So the upper, like I mentioned, is split between Hyperfuse, which is a thin synthetic material, and of course goat leather, which is really interesting. The goat leather on this shoe is remarkably soft. It's very, very flexible. It stretches really nicely, and it's just extremely comfortable for right out of the box. As far as comfort is concerned, like I said, one of the best options out there in the form of the Lunar Gato 2. So you have a unique kind of quilted stitching pattern, which reminds me a lot of what you're going to find on the Nike Tiempo Legend 5. And you get a decent amount of leather. Of course, it doesn't span the outside of the shoe. That's not too big of a concern for me. I wish the tongue would have been leather as opposed to being a padded mesh material. But again, that's not too big of a deal. The entire forefoot is covered, and most importantly, for me at least, the medial side is covered. So when you're making passes and controlling the ball the majority of the time, you're going to get that nice soft goat leather touch on the ball, which to me, like I said, very, very important. And then you do have the sandpaper-like texturing right here, just for a little bit of additional grip. Again, not uncommon for the actual sandpaper texturing to wear off a little bit. It is there for durability reasons, but again, just depending on how lucky you get with the pair that you have, it may or may not be the most durable aspect of this particular shoe. Now the rest of the upper, as you guys can see, is made from Hyperfuse. You're going to see this on a lot of models from Nike outside of soccer. It's not necessarily designed around touch. It's more so designed around stability as well as breathability. So you can see you have these kind of layers here. There's an outside layer, there's an inside layer, and then a thin, fine layer of like clear, translucent mesh right there in the middle. So you can see my finger kind of right there on the inside. So there is some ventilation aspect to the medial side of the shoe at least, which is not a super big deal in my opinion, but some people like to have some form of ventilation in their footwear, and you're definitely going to get that from this particular shoe. Most importantly though, it doesn't add any bulk. It really adds minimal amounts of weight to the overall shoe, and stability is not an issue. It's stiff enough to where your foot is locked inside the shoe once you pull the laces tight, and again, you're not going to have any issues when you're making those hard cuts as far as your foot sliding around or anything like that. Central lacing system, as you guys can see, does have a pretty standard cut in the heel area. The heel lining is a padded mesh material with a decent amount of padding, so again, no issues as far as step and comfort is concerned. I'll pull the insole out really quickly so you guys can get a better look at that. It's a kind of very dense foam material with a mesh lining on top. Reminds me a lot of the Nike GS insole, and again, just a really nice insole as far as cushioning is concerned. It doesn't seem to break down very quickly, so you get really consistent underfoot cushioning for a long period of time, as opposed to something that's a really soft, spongy foam that just kind of compresses to the point where it doesn't maintain its shape anymore. So again, really nice insole as far as indoor models go. And then moving on to that midsole, it does feature Nike's signature Lunar Lawn foam, which is a very responsive foam cushioning system. You're going to find it mostly in the heel. There is something underfoot in the midfoot and toe area, but for the most part, that part of the shoe is left pretty low profile. And again, while the midsole may appear to be very high off the ground, it actually does feel pretty low profile as far as the stance is concerned. So I know a lot of people don't like to be too high off the ground. While it may look like it's high off the ground, it isn't actually when you're wearing the shoe. And then moving on to the outsole, it's honestly nothing special as far as traction is concerned. It will get the job done on most indoor court playing surfaces. If the court is dusty, you are going to slide around, but that's going to be the case with most indoor models. And as far as using these on concrete or outdoors for street soccer or something like that, again, durability is going to take a hit. The rubber will wear away more quickly than it will on an indoor court or something like that. But for the most part, it does hold up pretty well on concrete or for street soccer use in most situations. I would say the lip is rubber here all the way around, and you do have the nylon stitching at the front. So again, sole separation shouldn't be too much of an issue. Again, with any indoor shoe, you're going to get better durability from it. on indoor courts rather than using it in the streets. But again, if you wanted to use this as a street soccer shoe, it is perfectly capable. As far as weight is concerned, I'm really happy with the weight range that the Lunar Gato 2 falls into. It's by no means a heavy shoe. It's not necessarily one that is ultra lightweight either, but you have to consider if you're comparing it to something like the Elastico Superfly, which has a super thin upper and a very low profile outsole, this shoe has a fairly padded goatskin leather upper and then actually a pretty substantial midsole as well. So again, the feel of this shoe is going to be significantly different than that of an indoor Superfly, but at the same time, what you're getting here is certainly not going to weigh you down. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. Going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 9.2 ounces, which for me personally, I find that to be a perfect weight range. It has a nice, solid, comfortable feel on feet. You get a good amount of underfoot cushioning. You get that really high quality soft goat leather upper, all in a package that weighs in at around 9 ounces. So again, very little to complain about for me personally. Let me know your opinions down below in the comment section. And with that being said, let's move on to a quick on feet so we can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit, and of course, what the sizing is like. Alright, so here's a look at the Lunar Gato 2s on feet, and from right out of the box, these shoes are extremely comfortable. It's one of those shoes that does get more and more comfortable over time, especially once you've broken them in. The soft goat leather upper feels great from right out of the box. It's extremely flexible, moves naturally with your foot, and just fits and feels really, really nice. It's some of the nicest leather you're going to find on any soccer shoe, period, not just indoor models. It really is that good. So if you like that soft premium leather touch on the ball, you're going to be a big fan of the overall feel on the Lunar Gato 2. You do have that hyperfuse in the midfoot as well, which is thin, it's breathable, and again, doesn't really change the overall feel of the shoe. It does have more of a leather sensation on your foot as a whole, especially in the toe box and forefoot area. And as far as underfoot cushioning is concerned, you can definitely tell that there is something more under your feet than in comparison to an Elastico Finale 3 or something more low profile. And the Lunarlon cushioning does get softer, again, once you start to wear it in. So it's a little bit firm at first, but it gets more and more soft and kind of springy once you got some break-in time. And again, just a very, very comfortable shoe. One of the most comfortable indoor models currently out there on the market, if you ask me. As far as the fit of the shoe is concerned, it's not an overly tight-fitting shoe. It reminds me a lot of the Tiempo line, but I would say it's a little bit wider. This is one of those shoes that's going to fit just about everybody. The goat leather upper is definitely going to stretch for you in pretty much all areas of the foot. The only thing to keep in mind is that, of course, the hyperfuse there on the lateral side is not going to stretch at all. So the way that fits from out of the box, that's not going to change after break-in time, but all the leather areas, like I said, will stretch. So again, these are going to be suitable for just about everybody. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing a size 9.5 US, which is a half size larger than I wear in most shoes. I find that these run about a half size small, just like the Tiempo line. So if you are looking to order a pair, I strongly recommend going a half size up, or if you're currently wearing Tiempos, just go with the same size for the best possible fit. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Nike Lunar Gato 2 indoors. Of course, they have been featured on the channel before, but not for a very long time, at least several months now. So since the indoor season is approaching, I thought I'd bring in the two latest colorways, do a little overview. For those who are perhaps not as familiar with the Lunar Gato 2, especially considering it is such a great model. Obviously, it's not new like the Elastico Finale 3 and the Superfly indoors from Nike, but again, it does have a lot to offer and a package overall that's significantly different than the rest of Nike's current offering. So again, if you're looking for something that has a really soft, really high quality leather upper, as well as really good underfoot cushioning, then the Lunar Gato 2 is definitely something to consider over, like I said, the Superfly or the Elastico Finale 3. And as far as leather indoor models are concerned, this really is one of the best options out there right now. Part of the reason why it is one of my personal favorites. So if you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, check out the review page on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description. On that review page, you'll find the high quality images I took myself, the full detailed written review, as well as buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you can pick these guys up below their usual $100 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below in the description, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns at all, leave those down below in the comment section, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. That would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.